Hi, I'm Jake from my channel Ashley Jake, and I'm very excited to do this week's video. One of the things that's really great about having a YouTube channel is a lot of the times the things that I do videos on are subjects that are kind of stuck in my own head, and when you make a video on it, it's really a way to kind of get all of that out. I didn't make a video for this one right away because I really wanted to kind of throw what I wanted to say around and examples of what I'm saying and everything. And as you see in the title, this has to do with older movies that came out around the time that the NES was around. We're talking Total Recall, The Abyss, Terminator 2. Well, let's look at it. That's why I got my VHSs. Now, what we've done recently is we've gone and we went to a classic already. You see this? Alien Isolation is not an original idea. It's basically Alien. That's all that it is. I mean, it looks like it. They said it. They wanted to capture the Ridley Scott kind of horror, how one alien can do so much damage and really kind of catch the haunting feeling. Where Aliens had a lot of aliens in it, and there was gunfights and there was battles and everything was loud. Ridley Scott was not. It was more of a horror experience. It wasn't an action film. So that's what they went back to, and it worked. And during this time, I don't even know if on the original NES there was an Alien game. I know that there was an Alien 3 game, but I don't know if there was an actual game based on Alien. But as you can see, this and this makes money. The idea of this and this together, let's see if I can get a good picture there. This is the Alien video game. Here's the Alien movie. Now there's just so many of those to go back to that have the lore already made for you. I would think as a video game maker, the easiest thing for you to do is to be able to bypass the we need characters in a world part of making a game. Basically, you don't have to find the lore if you can find it somewhere else where it's already popular and just add to it. And that's what I think with, well, first, before I show you the movie that I want to show, it doesn't have any video games. As far as I know, and I'm pretty up on my popular culture with video games, as far as I know, there's no mainstream game for this movie. But check out the plot. In the first, 15 minutes, a nuclear submarine crashes in the very, very depths of the ocean, kills everybody, and immediately you have to go down there in these submersibles and go and retrieve the possible survivors of that submarine crash and retrieve the nukes and possibly deal with aliens, and you're in a submersible drilling platform. What about that doesn't scream video game as much as this? This was obvious. This had video games in the work while the movie was still being made, and still those games aren't something to do a backflip about. But it got a game. This one, with all of the stuff, with all of the lore, with all of the action, with all of the money that this made, this wasn't a flop. This wasn't a shitty movie. This was a very awesome James Cameron movie. And if you haven't seen this, you really need to go and check it out. Because you have aliens, you have an atmosphere that by itself is already suffocating. There's people that go into that atmosphere that just can't handle it because it makes them flip out. So that's got to be a pretty awesome place to put a video game station there. You know what I mean? Maybe a submarine before this movie, in the world of the story, maybe there was a submarine that came across them before. Maybe this wasn't the first time that they've interacted with people, and there's your video game. You have aliens, it's basically like BioShock. BioShock, that world under the ground or under the water, Rapture, that was it was underwater, and that was part of the reasons that it was so cool to walk around. That's part of the reason that I played that game because of the fact that, one, I like this, and I like the idea of being under the water. I like that kind of isolating experience because it really does kind of cause a scary scenario to play through. And that's what I'm saying, is come back to this. There's so many movies that when you have a brand new movie, right? You're not working off of a sequel. It's not a remake. You have no idea if you have an audience. You have to look at what your previews are bringing in, all of this other stuff. But go ahead and cheat, man. You don't always have to find something new, and it doesn't always have to be from a video game. This would make a great movie. And I have several examples of what we could go back to that already has lore, that already has characters, that's already set up for more material. You know, if Jay and Silent Bob are going to start making movies again, we can go back to this stuff and start making video games again. Why not? Why couldn't we revisit this? Everybody knows this. Everybody loves this. And I'm not saying go back with like Terminator Salvation. I'm not saying go back and go and make a brand new game. No, I'm saying base everything around the awesome experience that was Terminator 2. You know, put us in the role of John Connor. Put us in the role of the Terminator and let us walk through with that first-person experience. That's part of the reason so many people bought Grand Theft Auto 5. The remake with the first-person view, because even though it's the same story, when your eyes are the eyes of the main character, it gives you another incentive, and why not do that? Do that with this movie too. I got a lot of Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, but before that, if you're thinking, oh, they don't do that, yes, they do. Mad Max. This is Mad Max. This movie is around the same time that I'm talking about. These old action films that did not get a very good video game. Or when you look back and you go, we could remake the movie, we could also remake the video game. And when you have something like Grand Theft Auto that brings in over $1 billion, now it doesn't really look like all of the money is in Hollywood. All of the money is in the consoles. I mean, what movie makes $1 billion that isn't already Star Wars? I mean, that's all I can think of. $1 billion. That's what Grand Theft Auto is pulling out. And I think when you go back to something like Mad Max, one, if people don't know about your video game, they have something to go to directly. They have a movie. They know exactly what you're basing your game off of, and they can get hyped about. Now, there's two movies that, okay, I'll admit it. Like, you really have to like Kevin Costner to think that these would make good video game adaptations. But what I'm talking about here is not. I'm not saying that Kevin Costner was awesome. I'm not saying that the main characters were awesome. I'm saying the lore is awesome. What you have here is a post-apocalyptic situation that's not zombies. It's not aliens. We have militia. We have people that are waiting on a hair trigger for a civil war all over again. And that's real. Look up militia. You know what I mean? Like, it happened in the South before, and it's a sensitive topic or whatever. But in this movie, it explores, what if those people go ahead and fight and they win? What if you have the KKK mindset, fight and win? What is that going to look like? What is that going to be like? And that's basically what I feel the wholeness, which is the negative people here. That's what I believe that they're supposed to represent. They're any means necessary. They rape, they pillage. They're basically like, they're dickhead Vikings. You know what I mean? They go town to town, make sure that the people in the town pay for protection from them, but they're paying for protection. And that's basically a whole different look at the apocalyptic thing. I'm getting tired of zombies. It just, I don't know. It's getting old. I keep trying to put in The Last of Us, but I've put in so many horror movie games that it all just feels old, and it all just feels recycled. But when I watched this movie the other night, this didn't feel old. This felt like, wow, I would love to be, I would love some objectives in this. I would love a place to go where I've got to go and find Rose City or whatever it was that he was looking for. Plus, this is based in Oregon. I've heard that a lot of the reason that The Last of Us was kind of popular is the world that it was in, and I agree, it was very, very beautiful, very, very green. Well, that's Oregon to a T, and that's what all the locations were. This movie was shot in Oregon, and as an Oregonian, I'll tell you, it really does get the feel for the greenery. Things aren't big city out here, and it would be nice to see a video game version of this. And the other one that did have Kevin is Waterworld. All right. Now maybe the main character wasn't likable. Maybe the movie was a flop. But the lore is what I'm talking about. I love the lore of Waterworld. You have already characters established, at least town-wise. If you want to ditch everything that was done in the movie, that's fine. But just keep that lore of the ice caps melted. That there's interactions and rules to how people meet on the water that has been established, for how many years you want to say. But look at that as a whole. Wipe the characters. Take all of your characters and wipe them off, but just go, this world exists. The rules of this world exist. Let's make a story based on it. And I think Waterworld could just really pop as a video game. I think it would be great. I would love to revisit that. And I think the theme of what I'm trying to say is popping up, because now we got Last Action Hero. Do I want to play as Arnold Schwarzenegger? No, I don't. Do I want to play as the little kid? No, I don't. Do I want to play a video game in a world where if I go to the theater at a certain time, I can pull characters, or I can jump into that film and experience what that little kid did in the action movie? Where he's walking around and he's seeing everything, where there are no cameras, where you're a character in that movie and you're able to walk around. That's the lore of that. That would be great for a video game. Look at the video game that came out on the NES. No good. But the idea is awesome. Jumping into the movie theater and jumping into the screen, being able to go to any genre. I don't even know how you would do that. So you would have a challenge there of trying to figure out how you would objective the player into that world. But I really think that this is something that would be exciting. I'm almost done here. I have a few more. I believe Dragonheart. I think with the dragons and all of that, Sean Connery, I know he's retired, but maybe he'd do some voice work, you know what I mean? But this could definitely be revisited and made into a video game, and I think that the best thing about coming back to this, you don't have a time frame. You don't have somebody breathing down your neck going, hey, Dragonheart's going to be hitting the theaters in 2 weeks. We need that video game. And you have the video game people going, we need another 2 years to make this good. Okay, well, you have 2 weeks. All right, well, you're going to get trash. Okay, we're fine with that. That's bad. But if you go back to something like this, and like Mad Max, that's been, how long have we been hearing about Mad Max? They don't have a movie, they don't have that timeline. They don't have the movie production that they're racing to get the money that the movie's gonna, the game's gonna make money off of the movie's gonna make money off of the game. I get that, but we don't do well with that. The products that come from that, it's awful. We don't like it. We constantly put out videos all the time saying, don't play this game, don't buy this game, this is an awful game, but yet we keep doing it, right? But it's just because they don't see another way. They don't see another way to make money, right? But hopefully with this little equation, right? And Mad Max, where's that one? All right. Maybe with this, they can start to see and wet their little money lips on the fact that going back to Alien, a movie that came out, let's see what year did I get the... Well, this was 1992. I got this VHS, and I think it was the trilogy in this special edition thing, right? So that's how many years ago, and they got how much money off of this, and we loved it. Good reviews for basically this is based on a movie. You know what I mean? So that's all I want to say is don't. Maybe as if a video game maker or somebody sees this video, realize that there are so many stories. Shit, The Hobbits, Lord of the Ring, that was a book. Peter Jackson didn't sit down and think up Frodo. He didn't sit down and think up all of that shit. He didn't. It was already there for him. He just opened up the book and put it on the screen. You can open up, video game makers can open up a movie and give me something on the screen and I'll give you money. But I'm tired of, if I see like fucking, let's see, what should be coming out? The Ghostbusters. There's a new Ghostbusters movie, right? And if there's a Ghostbuster video game coming out at the same time, the only way that any message can be sent is not to buy it. That's it. You know what I mean? Because no matter what, you're going to get trailers that are going to make the game look good. You're going to get trailers that are going to be funny and clever. And you're going to get commercials that make it look good. But we've seen that how many times? Too many. Right? Too many times. But if we start seeing things like Mad Max, Alien, shit, like I said, maybe you don't like the idea, but Waterworld, if I saw Waterworld was in the makes, I'd pre-order that. I'd pre-order a video game if I knew it was based on a movie from the 90s, because people my age are the ones that are making it. So obviously they're going to know the content, they're going to like it, you know? So that's just what I wanted to put out there. It's what I've been sitting on for this week. And I really appreciate you taking the time and listening to me. And this is my channel, Ashley Jake, and I hope you have a great week. And watch out for some Wanna Play It and some Let's Play on my Game Boy Advance. Thank you. Bye.